This is Business, Equity, and Opportunities.
Good morning and welcome. This is Business, Equity, and Opportunities. I'm Scott Sander. We are nearing the home stretch of the holidays. We've just passed Hanukkah with Christmas, Kwanzaa, the New Year around the corner. Before you dash out for more shopping, spend an hour with us. We're here each week, spreading good cheer and good information about how you can start and grow your own business. We talk to people who've been there in hopes that sharing their experiences will help and inspire you. Experiences like getting started, gaining access to capital, keeping up with the week in business, handling accounting and bookkeeping, running your business day to day. We also focus on a specific industry each week, and we wrap things up with a success story. We're here with a new show every Sunday on Wish TV. You can also live stream us through wishtv.com. And then we post each of our 7 weekly segments from past shows on our website. It's BE&O To get there quickly right now, scan the QR code that's on your screen. Watch them, share them. And while you're there, listen to our Business, Equity, and Opportunities podcast, part of the All Indiana Podcast Network. Also, please do subscribe to our weekly newsletter. We update it every Tuesday. Now, for this hour, let's get to the business of business. Here's what's coming up on today's Business, Equity, and Opportunity. 2 stories on the game-changing benefits of SBA loans. It's graduation day for the next generation of news producers. Shea on your year-end accounting needs. GEMCO and the Million Meal Movement. When furniture meets art is our industry focus. And we meet a woman who turned a college whim into a small business success story. Let's get started with a trip to Batesville, Indiana. We spoke to Lisa Hutson. She owns the Viz, a family-operated uniform business. Exporting is a big, expensive part of the Viz biz. Lisa signed up for an export loan. Many U.S. banks view such loans for exporters as risky, making it harder for the businesses that export to get them. Day-to-day operations, advance orders for suppliers, and refinancing existing debts. To ease the risk, the U.S. Small Business Administration created programs to provide lenders with up to a 90% guarantee on export loans. For some, then, the SBA-backed loans may be a game changer. Just ask Lisa.
This is Business, Equity, and Opportunities. Getting started.
So we are a custom uniform and apparel business, but much more than that. We're kind of shaking things up and really focusing on people so that we understand and know that what we wear means way more than just putting on something. Everybody matters. It doesn't matter who you love. It doesn't matter what color you are. It doesn't matter what size you are. You matter. So being able to provide first in an underserved population of women in manufacturing, they're still what we're wearing men's clothing, and there weren't a lot of maternity options. To be able to first see that and then build out after that and realize that, wait, it's not just women who are pregnant, it's men, it's non-binary, it's just people need things not only to make them feel comfortable and confident and allow them to do a better job, but also for safety reasons as well. So I've spent the past 20-something years raising kids. My husband and I have 5 kids. He worked as a cardiovascular ICU nurse. He now works for me. But around the pandemic, I was fighting breast cancer. And just with facing death and realizing even more, it even made me realize more who I was. So decided in January 2022 that I was going to start a business and really dug deep, looked into all the things, realized that I could become a women certified business, and that I could take what was being crafting, like me doing spirit wear, off of my Cricut machine in the basement and take it to another level to really make a business out of it, and did all of the work to get my women-owned certificate, did the 3-hour interview, the whole process, jumped through all the hoops, and got my women-owned, my disadvantaged business certificate. And then very quickly was going to procurement fairs. At this time they were still online. I was in a Minnesota procurement fair all week, just listening to every single thing that I could learn, just soaking up, because I love learning new things. And met at the end of the week. There was a large panel of businesses, and I asked each one of them, I thought, the worst they can say is no, so I'm just gonna put myself out there. is there a place for us? And at this point, we didn't know if we were uniform. We were high vis because I thought maybe road workers because of the state, and then there could be some DBE dollars that could be available. Every one of the companies said no, 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 no. And Cargill, Natalie McGrady from Cargill said, you know what, let's see if we can find a place for you. The next day, I'm on the phone with executives from Cargill in a meeting coming to them and saying, how can I serve you? What can I do that's not being done? To make sure that I took this once in a lifetime opportunity, before I got off the phone with him, I said, hey, I'll be in Minneapolis in 2 weeks with stuff in hand to try on. And that's where the magic began. We brought every size for them to try on. People walked in used to being disappointed, and they were like, it became a party. Morale went up. We had smiles, and we've seen this across the entire US because Ardent Mills, who is owned by Cargill and Conagra, they said, hey, we would like to talk to Viz, and we ended up winning their women's contract for the whole US, Canada, and Puerto Rico. So we've been in every single plant, and we got to see the magic. You know, in my basement, I saw this vision. I saw how the whole thing worked. I saw how that even these shelves were gonna work, how the system was gonna work. And to be able to write that vision and take it to Indiana Economic Development and say, hey, they awarded a grant. They believed in my vision too. I got the Smart Manufacturing Grant to make this happen. Then we faced the Small Business Association, SBA, and the export program has been crucial to making it happen. First Community Bank of Indiana, they believed in me when we heard no, 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 and figuring out, okay, well, how do we operate a business we had zero capital because we had used all of our resources while fighting cancer. When we had started we'd gone from January of 2022 until August of this year, zero capital. So you can imagine how scary operating at this was. But knowing that we're just gonna figure it out. We're gonna reach out, we're gonna say, hey, we need help. We're gonna say, because we believe in what we were doing, and we believe in people, and that's what it's about. So I have so much support from not only the people that work, but like all the agencies, and like really, like, it's okay. If I don't know it, I'm not afraid to say it. You know, I don't know everything. Just being willing to say, you know what, I didn't know that, and learn instead of pretending like I knew it all. So because we are focused on people, so our own employees, paying them a good living wage. We pay all of their dental, medical, vision 100%, and we do a 401k match because it starts here. And then the people that we serve, they matter. And then the planet that we share, we're working toward B Corp status so that we're making a legal commitment to this is how we're gonna do business. My goal isn't to be a millionaire. My goal is to leave a legacy. So as we transition toward retirement, it's to make this an employee-owned business so that we can't be scooped up by a big business and just be like everybody else. But we're kind of shaking things up and going, the person at the top isn't gonna be making millions while someone barely can feed their family on a minimum wage. Let's build something where everybody can have food and a place to live, and it's not about one person profiting while others are barely getting by. Like by nature, I'm a coach. I coached college softball. I played college softball, coached college softball at one point, stepped away so that I wanted to be a mom. That's what I wanted to do then. But to step back and see my entire team, my husband, my kids, my entire team beautifully work together, and know that this place and what we're building can have an impact for years to come. The only way this is gonna work is to empower those around. And that's so not even my team, but some of the people that I work with, like other women, other men, other business people, when we truly work together, empower one another instead of just being, and seeing how like it doesn't have to be one or the other, like we can build each other up. That's what warms my heart. Or seeing someone belong, someplace that well, you know what, they might have trouble fitting in, but they just see and work that magic of making them feel like the world's told them that, you know what, you're not as smart, you're not as this, but for them to see that light bulb go off and go, oh, I don't have to believe that. Just because I don't fit in this mold doesn't mean I can't be who I am. And that's what we're really trying to do, is to really stand up and support the underserved, to know that everybody matters. Without all of us, how does it all get, it doesn't have to be a hierarchy. It can be this beautiful like picture, and that's what we're seeing it. We're seeing it happen and come alive.
If you'd like to learn more about the SBA's export loan program and whether it can help you get started, visit BEOshow.com. Scan the QR code on your screen, it'll take you right there. If you have a tale to tell about how you launched your small business, tell us how you're doing. We'd love to share the story. Send us an email at beo@wishtv.com. Coming up next, the SBA has other loan programs too. See how to gain access to capital when Business Equity and Opportunities returns. Welcome back to Business Equity and Opportunities. As we roll through the heaviest shopping season of the year, the U.S. Small Business Administration is looking back on its successes. The SBA says it delivered $50 billion in capital, disaster relief, and bonding to small businesses across America in the 2023 fiscal year. More than $728 million of that capital made its way to Indiana. To learn what that can mean for your small business and how you can gain access to some of that capital, we talked with the SBA Indiana District Director, Stacey Poynter.
This is Business Equity and Opportunities. Access to capital.
We just released our statistics for fiscal year 23, which ended September 30th. We do that every year to kind of raise awareness, to let folks know there are resources out there available in Indiana with assistance from the federal government, with the assistance from area lenders such as banks and credit unions. Almost 1,300 loans made in Indiana. We supported $728 million right here in the Hoosier state. Over 99% of the businesses in Indiana are considered small, so almost everybody qualifies. Now there are always just some nuances, but without getting into the weeds of all that, most businesses do qualify. So I was at an event, and actually in Indianapolis this summer, and of course we're in Batesville today, but we had the opportunity to get together, and our Small Business Development Center, which is a partner of ours that works with area business, provide that free one-on-one business counseling, said, Stacey, there's somebody you need to meet. She just started her business, but man, she's really growing. She needs some help with access to capital. So, and as soon as I met Lisa, boy, she's infectious. I mean, it was easy to kind of get behind her. And so we had a conversation about, what her needs were, and she was just growing exponentially. And so, we got together, we talked about her loan needs. We were able to put her in connection with a few of our lending partners, and then she was able to find a connection to help her grow her business. Obviously, we want to highlight the good things in Indiana. We talked about the almost 1,300 small businesses that received assistance, but we also looked at, what are maybe some numbers that need improving. And 42% of the businesses are owned by women in Indiana, which is pretty good, not half, but pretty good. But then we look at the access to capital, only 20% over the last 3 years have averaged to women-owned businesses. That's obviously a problem. We also look at rural areas. 78% of the counties in Indiana are considered rural, like here in Batesville and Franklin County. However, they're only receiving 23% of the loans. So it's like a total inverse of what's going on. So part of the reason to get the loan statistics out there is also to bring awareness to there are resources available, and we are here to help, but how do we get that information out? I think it's just a matter of them picking up the phone. Obviously, we're doing kind of our part of this outreach, but them picking up the phone, giving us a call, or going to the website. But there are resources out in the community. Our office is located in Indianapolis, but we cover the state of Indiana, and we do it with partners, such as our women's business centers that work in the Fort Wayne area in Indianapolis, our SCORE chapters, which are folks that are volunteering their time to provide free one-on-one counseling throughout the state, and of course our small business development centers who do a fantastic job. That's in partnership with the state of Indiana, the federal government, and local resources, usually a university, that get out and cover every county in Indiana. You're thinking about starting a business, you're already in business, how do you grow your business? Your business is maybe not going like it's supposed to. Maybe you're wanting to transition out of your business and look at retirement. We handle those calls as well. So we're here for all assets all aspects of your business, and it's free one-on-one counseling. I can't emphasize that enough. It's that free counseling. We want you to take advantage of the resources that you're already paying for with your taxpayer dollars. Well, I think we're still going to continue to see businesses grow. Take advantage of those resources that are out there to help your business grow. Lisa, we're here today. She's doing exporting. 96% of the customers are outside the United States. So there's a whole opportunity for you to grow your business.
If you'd like more information about lending opportunities with the SBA and whether it can help you access capital, we have links on our website, BE&Oshow.com. A bit later, Shea joins us to address your year-end accounting needs. Before that, though, graduation day for the newest news producers. Stay with us.
It's time for newsrooms to better reflect the diversity of our country. Announcing the Multicultural Media Producing Program, a one-year career certificate program at Ivy Tech Community College. We train today's students to become tomorrow's news professionals. Learn how newscasts are written, produced, and broadcast. Gain real-world experience learning under the news experts at Wish TV. Scholarships are available. Visit this link now and kickstart your career as a news professional.
That was in January. Fast forward to this week in business. We saw the Multicultural Media Producing Program produce its first graduating class. The vision of the one-year certificate program is to introduce more diverse voices into the leadership ranks of newsrooms across the country while impacting communities by offering varied perspectives on how news is delivered, presented, and produced. We attended the commencement ceremony for the MMPP class of 23 and spoke to the graduates. One such graduate must have made quite an impression. We hired him.
This is Business, Equity, and Opportunities. This Week in Business.
It's fantastic to have the first semester finished and done. I came into this with some expectations on the students that I would have, and those students by far exceeded my expectations. From what they wanted to learn and how they accomplished what I set out for them to do, they learned a lot of writing, a lot of producing techniques, things that they can use in this business if they choose to go into a career in broadcasting. So I couldn't be happier about how everything turned out. I think they were extremely surprised. They had no idea what a producer did. Most of them did not. And once they learned all the little things that they have to do just to get one story on the air, let alone an entire newscast, I think was eye-opening for them. Just from the writing, from the graphics, from talking to reporters and the anchors and the production department. I mean, there's a lot that goes into a newscast, and it was very eye-opening for many of them. I hired my first student. Adam Peterson got the job about 2 weeks before graduation. I kind of pinpointed him right away. The nice thing about having these students write every single class period is that I get to look at their scripts. And so if I see someone that has got a real aptitude to do it, I'm going to target them and kind of go after them for potential job opportunities that we have. So we hired Adam already. I've already hired a second student to be an part-time associate producer, and there's a third student that I'm getting ready to hire come January as a part-time associate producer. So three of the 20 kids have already got jobs, and the great thing is all three of them are going to be finishing up their college degrees soon.
It was really the highlight of my week. Every week, just coming here, getting some hands-on experience. College is great, but sometimes it's limiting in what it can offer. And I really, working with Adam, it was great to just sort of get get someone who's like really in the business right now, working with it, using the actual software, the format, and everything. I've been searching for something in college just to get the experience in broadcast, but I hadn't found it between schedules and COVID and all that. The first day, sort of when I learned exactly what we were doing, I'm like, okay, I got a sense of this. And then, definitely, working with Adam, he's a great teacher, so it really did exceed my expectations. It was something I'd hoped for. I was hoping, at least to get, maybe just a full-time internship program or opportunity out of it, but no, I never expected to, get hired after this.
This is something that, I've been kind of looking forward to ever since it was announced that we were going to do this. And when they approached me about teaching the class, I jumped at it. I've got a little bit of a teaching background, a degree from college in the teaching in education, and so this is something that I kind of have a passion for. And I'd love to be able to tell these students what exactly this business entails. I've been doing this for 29 years now, and so I've seen it go from when it was really big to what it is now. You know, it was almost there was no digital back then, and now the digital aspect that comes into it, it's just so different nowadays. And telling them how it was then compared to now and the different areas that you can get into in this business has been great. Once they graduate, if they're interested in pursuing a job in TV news, particularly producing, they'll be able to go out there and apply for jobs, and they can put me down as a reference, and they'll have I've got contacts all over the country. So, and I hear from them often that they need producers. So if they're looking for a job in producing, they're out there. And whether that's starting in Terre Haute, Indiana, or right here in Indianapolis, or Fort Wayne, or any of those other places, there are opportunities out there for them if that's what they choose to do.
I mean, it never hurts to try a new thing. I had always kind of grown up being like, okay, I might want to do something in TV news, and in this instance, my expectations really met. So go for it. Why not? Try it. I mean, I know I've spoken to one of the other kids in this class. They seem to, I think they told me that they were honestly thinking about changing their career choices because of being in this program. So, go for it. You might find something you love.
This Week in Business is made possible by InnoPower.
The Multicultural Media Producing Program is a collaboration of J.P. Morgan Chase, Circle City Broadcasting, Ivy Tech Community College Indianapolis, and the DeJuan and Tina McCoy Foundation. If you'd like information about how you or someone in your family can be in the class of 2024, scan the QR code or go to BEOshow.com. Also this week in business, the Champions of Diversity are back. America's largest cross-sector diversity awards return January 12th at the JW Marriott. The awards will recognize people and organizations that have demonstrated an outstanding commitment to fostering diversity and inclusion within their sectors. This year, the event is introducing 5 new industry awards highlighting excellence in finance, consumer goods and retail, transportation and automotive, technology, and sports and entertainment. The Minority Business Review presents the event in partnership with the Recorder Media Group. For more information about the Champions of Diversity Awards and sponsorship opportunities, we have links at BEOshow.com. If your business has an event that you'd like us to mention on our show, send us an email, give us 3 weeks notice at beo@wishtv.com. Coming up, a local company and the Million Meal Movement. Before that, though, year-end accounting and bookkeeping with Shea. This is Business Equity and Opportunities.
This is Business, Equity, and Opportunities, Accounting and Bookkeeping.
Time for accounting and bookkeeping on Business Equity and Opportunities. Our voice here at Circle City Broadcasting and Business Equity and Opportunities is Shea, our Chief Financial Officer and frequent contributor to our work here. Ty, thank you for being with us. I guess good start to the final quarter. We're there, yeah?
That's right. The finish line is in sight.
Do the ledger folks talk like that? Do you think in quarters all the time? How does it work?
It's always in the back of your mind somewhere. Where are we? Where are we in the calendar? Different portions of the calendar have different priorities. But now that we're rounding into Q4 here, you have to start looking towards the end of the year, and there are a number of things that kind of pop out and are top of mind for us folks. For instance, a couple of them I can think of are cleaning up your accounts receivable, right? Anything that has aged out there, cash is king in any business, and the best way to get cash is to collect from the people who owe money to you. And starting now, while people aren't yet super busy, if you wait till December to start calling on folks who owe you a lot of money, well, guess what? We all know how busy we get, both professionally, but personally in December. A lot of vacations, a lot of people are out of town. If you wait till that point to start trying to get your money and kind of cleaning up your ledger, good luck. So, start in early October looking towards that end. Additionally, we've alluded to it before, but your budgeting process, that's part of year-end financial planning. If you're in businesses with inventory, right there, which is something I don't deal with on a day-to-day basis, but those that do, you're planning kind of your year-end inventory true-ups and observations and things like that. And so there's a lot that is accomplished in these last 3 months of the year to kind of tidy things up and make sure you're ready to hit that next year and hit the ground running.
It is interesting, isn't it? Because we're wrapping up one thing. Maybe there's a Christmas analogy in here with wrapping. But anyway, you were wrapping up one thing as we're opening up another with the new year. That can be an area where things cross over so much that you probably really need to keep the two separate in your mind.
Yeah, and it's all about kind of checking off the boxes for the end of the year and preparing yourself for what hopefully is a fortuitous year going forward. And from an accounting standpoint, there definitely is a very bright line of this ends here and this begins here. But a lot of times some of the same issues that you were dealing with in the prior year do carry over into the next year.
Yeah, and personnel, things like that. I mean, they're not thinking in those terms. It's continuity. It's something that's continuously part of that. Is it too early to talk about taxes, or is that something we leave for Q1 discussion?
Tax planning for sure is absolutely part of that. Certainly from a business standpoint, get an idea of your estimated taxes, and some businesses pay them on a quarterly basis, so they would have just paid Q3 probably and want to get a good idea of what they pay for Q4. Other tax planning strategies that businesses employ, sometimes they'll buy equipment at the very end of the year to alleviate a potential tax burden. That absolutely is part of that.
All right, so between collections, if necessary, and taxes, maybe this is stuff better handled before the holidays really get rolling.
Yes.
It's an emotional difficulty.
You can enjoy the holidays, right?
There you go. We enjoy our time with you. Shea, thank you.
Thanks so much, Scott.
You can see all of Ty's accounting and bookkeeping segments at BEOshow.com. Quick way is to grab your phone, scan the QR code on your screen. It'll take you right there. While you're there, sign up for the newsletter that we update every Tuesday. Subscribe to our Business Equity and Opportunities podcast and listen to our contributors on your schedule. Later, our focus is on furniture that's also work of art. Before that, though, running your business and philanthropy can go hand in hand. Ahead on Business Equity and Opportunities. Welcome back to Business Equity and Opportunities, and the fun part, running your business day to day. GEMCO is celebrating 5 years of taking part in the Million Meal Movement, an organization with a twofold goal: feed the hungry and teach the importance of volunteerism. In the case of small business, it may serve as a model of truly being part of the community.
This is Business Equity and Opportunities, running your business day to day.
So Million Meal Movement is a hunger relief organization right here in Indianapolis, and our main focus is fighting food insecurity here in the state of Indiana while bringing people together through volunteerism. It was started by a couple out of Carmel, Indiana, Dan and Nancy Hintz, in 2007, and they knew that there was a huge food insecurity issue and just wanted to focus on that and bring people together through volunteerism. Yeah, so Nancy Hintz is actually our executive director, and Dan, her husband, serves on our board as well, so they're very involved. So this is our 5th year packing with GEMCO, so we're super excited about that. Today their goal is 15,000 meals, and they are packing our mac and cheese meal. So they're scooping, weighing, labeling, sealing, boxing up mac and cheese meals to be delivered to local food banks and food pantries here in Indiana. So once we host a meal packing event with a company or a group, we distribute the meals to local food banks and food pantries. Oftentimes Gleaners Midwest are 2 of our big partners just because they have such a great reach throughout the state, as well as many, many other food pantries throughout the state. Crooked Creek, Second Harvest, just to name a few. We have many, many food pantries that we distribute to. Pretty much if a food distribution organization calls and needs it, we'll give it to them. I look forward to coming to work every day. It's something new and different. It's something that I can go home and feel good about because I know I'm helping people and I'm seeing it done right in front of me. Seeing people volunteer brings them so much joy, as well as myself, as well as the end result with distributing the food to those who need it. We love to partner. We have many opportunities to give back, whether it's hosting a meal packing event or joining our annual Million Meal Marathon with Pacers Sports and Entertainment. We have a golf outing in the summer. So there's multiple ways to check out what we have going on and to give back to help fight food insecurity here in the state of Indiana. So Hoosiers packed for Hoosiers.
We're here today supporting the Million Meals movement. They support local pantries, food pantries to support hunger. In central Indiana, all here, every meal made here that we're making today, we're gonna make 15,000 meals, is gonna support the local food banks here in central Indiana. That's why we're here today. We're lucky enough to be introduced to Million Meals movement 5 years ago when we supported the Pacers Foundation. And then we decided we wanted to get involved directly with Million Meals. So this is our 5th anniversary. We have packed over 60,000 meals for the local community in the last 5 years, which we're very grateful for. Oh, it's amazing. It's to give back. All of our employees here are centrally Indiana based. They love giving back to the community, and we're honored to be able to do that. We have challenges. It's a fun event to have for camaraderie, for the culture of the company, but also helping the greater good for central Indiana. They know that they're giving back to central Indiana for the greater good. We're all very fortunate to be here to work in such a great environment and to give back for those less fortunate. It's something they all cherish. We do it twice a year. It's something we're going to continue to do. GEMCO as a whole, it's about the culture. We build buildings obviously for commercial aspects, but it helps with employees knowing they're part of a greater good. They're contributing to the community. They like being part of it, the camaraderie, knowing that they're giving back, and it's the bigger cause of employee retention, employee recruitment, knowing that a company of what we are and the culture we have supports these types of things and realizes that it's much more than just getting up, going to your job every day. It's about giving back and supporting the community that you're part of. Seeing the smiles, seeing getting up every day, going to bed every night of people are happy. People are excited to come to work with us, not for us, obviously. And it's about creating a culture and a sustainability for our customers and our team members alike, that we do events like this that support much more than us as individuals, not just the company, and giving back. And they know that, and they're very, very supportive of doing that.
To learn more information about the Million Meal Movement and how you can get involved, head to beoshow.com. QR code will hook you up with all the information. Coming up in our success story, a small business shaped by proficiency in pottery. First, though, the art of furniture design. Stay with us.
Every business is unique, and every business has a target audience. Circulus Digital Media can help you connect and grow your customer base with turnkey digital solutions that are nimble to reach a customer base that spans the globe. Pinpoint a specific audience down to the smallest details. No matter the size of your business, put Circulus Digital Media to work for you and get results.
Welcome again. This is Business Equity and Opportunities, and the time when we focus on an industry. Matthew Osborne has a Bachelor of Fine Arts from Herron School of Art and Design, studied engineering and industrial design before graduating into the field of furniture design. He says all his work fulfills those interests. The furniture crafter has set up shop in 201 Studios, which is where we caught up with him.
This is Business, Equity, and Opportunities. Industry Focus.
My name is Matthew Osborne, and I'm a furniture designer and maker. I do a little bit of sculpture and a little bit of electric guitars now, mostly for fun, but I've been doing it for about 12 years on my own, and I've been in this building for, I think, 6 years now. I bounced around studies in college and eventually landed at Herron School of Art and Design and studied furniture design there. And that was the right fit for me. So pretty much immediately out of school, I started making furniture, custom cabinets, and kind of worked my way back into custom furniture, that's where I like to be. It was tough finding the right clients and enough of the right clients that appreciate and understand what I'm trying to do, and just trying to get traction and building up enough of a clientele that I can start to do more of the work that I'm attracted to, and getting through the ups and downs. I'm much less of a businessman. That has been the biggest learning curve. Designing and crafting things comes a little more naturally to me, so that's been the uphill battle. I've been in the building for a few more years than before RJ bought the building, and he has done an incredible job revitalizing the space, bringing life into it, and just bringing good, solid artists and business folks in here. It's been really fun to be a part of and be able to watch this place grow and improve over the years. And it's just a magical place now. There's so many great people. This is my family here in town, the people in this building. And a lot of that's just due to RJ's personality and his vision, his ability to kind of understand who's going to fit well in this building and work together well. And so it has been a huge honor and pleasure to be here this whole time. Part of it is RJ's really good at reading people and getting good vibes from people. And I think also, it just kind of shakes itself out over the years. I mean, we've had stretches where the community here was a lot quieter and kept to themselves. And it's grown, and the energy has grown here over the last several years, where people are much more involved with other people, and we help each other out a lot. And also just, it's word of mouth. It's people, friends come in and word spreads, and then, the right people show up and fits right in. I've always loved music, and I've played a handful of instruments over my life. I'm not a public musician by any means. I'm rather introverted, but I have always loved guitars. And my furniture work is mostly, browns and grays, natural tones. And I have been itching for some bright, fun colors. And so at the beginning of this year, I decided there's a guitar I really wanted to buy and didn't want to spend the money. So I thought, I'm just going to try and make one after all these years of kind of thinking about it. And I am really enjoying it and playing with color and different kinds of paints. And so I've launched this kind of side company called Oz Electric that's electric guitars. And the goal is to eventually be producing my own shapes and my own electronic configurations with my own colors, and get that out there, see what happens. I get excited when, there's a couple things. When clients that give me some freedom of expression and I get to be artistic and express myself through my work, that's always really fun and freeing. I think just playing, getting in here and not seeing this as a job necessarily, although a lot of it's a grind. Just being able to try new processes, work with new materials, new forms, new shapes, kind of get outside my comfort zone and see what happens. I've done several restaurants, Ash and Elm Cider Company, all their furniture, their tables are, I did for them. This one you wouldn't be able to see, but recently I did the Pacers conference table, so that was a fun one. I am working with some friends to do a new branding for both Osborne Design and Crafts, the furniture, and then Oz Electric, to get my name out there a little bit more. And the goal is to really bring in enough work that I'm a little pickier about what I'm taking on, and also trying to get my aesthetic and my brand out there. So ultimately though, I would love my work to split more down the middle of half custom work and then half studio furniture, which is pieces that I'm designing and producing without a client involved. And so they're my brainchild, my aesthetics.
Industry Focus is made possible by Circulus Digital Media.
When we return, the success story handcrafted out of a college whim. Time for one of our favorite segments each week, our dose of inspiration, the success story. Becca Otis needed some extra college credits, so she told a pottery professor she knew how to make pots. She did not. But she got good at it, and now she's been a full-time potter since 2014. She owns and operates 5 Lines Pottery. And no matter what you may remember from the movie Ghost, the life of a potter is not always glamorous.
This is Business, Equity, and Opportunities. Success Story.
My name is Becca Otis, and I am the owner of 5 Lines Pottery. Well, I'm in 201 Studios. This has been my home base probably for 3 years, I think, in January. I got really lucky, actually, because I moved from Seattle in 2021, and January 2021, and before that, a friend of mine had actually found the space, and he was like, hey, do you want to split this space? And so we split it for a year, and then he bounced, and then I found Sarah, and then Sarah found Heather. I feel so fortunate, you know, to have found this space, because RJ is probably the best landlord I've ever had in my entire life. And he always keeps everything like really nice. He's super responsive, and the building is beautiful, and it's always kept up. You know, sometimes in buildings like this, especially, like, everybody wants the historic charm, but unless you're willing to actually keep it up, it's not really worth it. And so he actually, you know, makes the building what it is, which is really lovely. My business is, so like I said, I'm 5 Lines Pottery, and I specialize in like efficient throwing, and I do what I call fancy cups. And they are wine glasses that are sanded, and then they have tactile experiences on them, so it's very smooth and very delicate, but also very well designed. And I also do earrings, like the earrings that I'm wearing, and those are very minimalistic. I really pull a lot of inspiration from mid-century modern, and like right now I'm really working towards like a more 80s vibe. I love color, and I love like different, you know, just different weird stuff that is not normal. So that, and I've been doing, let's see, I've been doing pottery since 2009, so almost 15 years, and I'm 33, so that kind of gives you that's like basically half my life. So, and I used to work as a production potter, and so I've kind of like been around. I actually live in my van right now and travel around, so I don't need a ton of money to live, so I'm actually able to kind of like make this a little bit more fun instead of like grinding like I used to. I started doing pottery because I was good at it, and I didn't necessarily love it, which was a good thing for me in my future, because that means that I was able to go through all of this stuff that was really crappy. I used to own a business in Washington State, and I was just chasing money, you know? So in 2020, when COVID hit, I had a break you know, and I had time to think. And when I had that time to think and have space, I realized that I hated it. I hated what I was doing. And I was doing essentially the same thing. I was doing paint your own pottery, I was doing production, and I was also teaching, and realized that I just did not like it. And I was making 3 times as much as I am now. And that's why I moved out here, to get a job, just to kind of like figure out what I wanted. And then after a year of kind of like debriefing, I got into this space and started doing more high-end work. And I am making a lot less money than I am, but I'm probably happier than I've ever been. And I don't work as hard. I work like 4 hours a day, which is like everybody's dream, I think. and I feel very fulfilled with what I'm doing. This is pretty much the only life I've ever known. I mean, I worked in the corporate world for like a little bit, but since I was 24, I've been doing full-time pottery. So, and wild, I got my degree in art, and I'm doing art, which is insane, because I feel like nobody does what they get their degree in. So, yeah, I just kind of like made it work, and I think that not caring about money has been the biggest part of that, like, growth and doing well, and actually doing what I like to do instead of what I think should sell and I think will make me money, and making things that are like, no, I like this. I don't really care if anybody does. This is what I like. That's been a really huge process and a long process for me to get to. And I finally feel like I'm there, so.
Last Tuesday, the annual Governor's Luncheon for Scouting kicked off the 2024 fundraising campaign for the Crossroads of America Council. The event brought together business and community leaders from across central Indiana on the field of Lucas Oil Stadium. The goal, to raise $1 million to support scouting programs in central Indiana, and they surpassed that goal. Wish TV was proud to be a sponsor once again. Anthony Calhoun served as MC. For the first time, we're sharing the event in a 1-hour special, highlighting the luncheon with scout interviews and behind-the-scenes video. Join us for Legends and Leadership, highlights of the Governor's Luncheon for Scouting, today at 5, right here on Wish TV. That is our hour for this week. We're eager to see you here again next Sunday for more business equity and opportunities. Till then, I'm Scott Sander. Have a great day.
Business, equity, and opportunities made possible by InnoPower, Bose McKinney & Evans, GEMCO, Fifth Third Bank, and Indiana University, Indianapolis.